Comms open.
Good greetings, everybody. I'm Rusty Dog, and welcome to Rusty's Rambles. And today's topic is Elite Dangerous Odyssey, or Odyssey Elite Dangerous, as it says on the picture there. So it's not going to be so much a ramble about the actual Odyssey itself, not so much about that, but more about the reaction to it. So let's get into it, and we'll see where we are. All right, so on June the 3rd, Frontier announced the Elite Dangerous Odyssey update, which will be coming out, we believe, to be somewhere early 2021. So I'm going to assume from that it's going to be the first quarter of the year. That would be my my guess. And they coupled this announcement with a video, which we're going to take a look at now, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I see, and I'll try and remember what I thought on the first time I saw this. When I did see the announcement of this, I thought it was a fake thing. I thought it was just something that somebody had maybe concocted up, and maybe, you know, taking the ships out of Elite Dangerous, putting them into an Unreal Engine environment or something, and saying, look, this is what Elite Dangerous would look like if we had space legs, if we had planets with atmospheres. But it turned out that it was real. So that kind of blew me away. And I thought, okay, people wanted space legs. They've been harping on about that for years. Atmospheric planets was something I wanted. Admittedly, I wanted it with cities and stuff like that, but to be fair, I have to keep my expectations realistic, because otherwise you just end up in disappointment. So the fact that we have atmospheres and space legs both is like a double whammy. It's that Frontier have dished out here, so pretty cool. So what does it look like? Well, most of you will have already seen the video, but it's only 1 minute and 17 seconds, so let's take a look. All right, so here we have the opening sequence then, which looks very Star Wars there, that amazing sound. Bear in mind, it does say pre-alpha and it does say in-engine footage, so these are cinematics in effect. I wish Elite Dangerous really was like this. I know you do get ship sounds in the game. Oh, this is a Cobra. I know you do get ship sounds in the game, but it's not like this. But I kind of wish it sounded as good as this. But yeah, in-engine is basically saying we've come up with this video using the same engine that we're using in Elite Dangerous, which would make a lot of sense. And we've got this wonderful flyby here, which sounded really cool. Yeah, it would be nice if in the update they had sounds like this. I know technically and in reality you cannot hear sounds in space, but hey, if you imagine Star Wars without sounds in space, you know, you have to use a little bit of artistic license here, and I'm quite happy for it to be used in situations like this because it just sounds really cool. Right, that's the first 2 seconds. Let's push forward. Now that is very Star Wars. It's like the TIE fighters coming out and going to this planet, and you can see here 2 things. That initially that the planet surface looks very a little bit more detailed perhaps, or is it just the lighting that's enhancing the detail that we already have? Either way, it does look good. It looks like a very small planet because it's very bumpy over there on the right hand side. And the other thing to notice, of course, is the atmospheric glow. So let's push on. Again, Star Warsy stuff. It looks very good. A little bit of motion blur as I stopped it there. But yeah, look at this. Now the lighting of the planet changes completely because you have light scattering from the sky. You have the sun over there, which looks completely different. It looks like faded to what it would normally look like in if there was no atmosphere there. There's no fuzziness when it's just space. So this is good. I mean, not all planets are going to be atmospheric, obviously. There's going to be others. What I'd like to see is that not all atmospheric planets look like this, like it's a nice sunny day. I'd like to see some where you have different weathers, maybe different types of rain, acid rain, like sulfuric rain or something, where, for example, you can get out of your ship, but you can't stay outside for too long because the acid rain will be bad for your suit. But your ship will be okay for a while. It will like maybe have it affect the integrity of the ship, but very slowly, you know. So if you make a perfect landing and you're out there for 2 hours and you come back and you go and dock somewhere, maybe your ship integrity would be down to 98 or 97% because it's been sulfuric rain. And it doesn't have to be constant, it can be coming on and off like normal weather does. I'd like to have things like wind, you know, different wind speeds, even some atmospheric planets that you would struggle to land on because the winds are so high, you know, that maybe you'd have a possible chance of landing in an anaconda or a cutter, but in a small ship it would just get blown about too much. That would be cool. So like a weather system. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know. There's been no mention of it, but it would be cool. Also, like if you go to a planet that's got a lot of wind and you can barely land an anaconda, it should be the case that as soon as you leave the ship on foot, you should get literally blown away. Unless you've got some mag boots or I don't know what, but you can't use your jetpack because it would be like hitting a high G world. I don't know, but it would be nice if there was some kind of atmospherics. I mean, you know, that maybe bring aerodynamics into play when you go into an atmosphere. And I hope I don't. And the other thing is, of course, right now planet landings are kind of a very what's the word? They're a very. It's not a smooth thing. It's very a kind of staccato affair in that you come in, then you have to enter a glide mode, then you come out of a glide mode. It's not a whole smooth transition. Is that going to change? You know, with atmospheric? Because with atmospheric, do you still need to glide? Probably. Anyway, I'm rambling on, and we're only 11 seconds in. Let's go. So, third scene. Already, now check this out, guys. Now the Cobra's landed. 2 people get out. So what does that say? Is that saying that you can have another pilot in your ship? Is this perhaps an AI? Or is it another player that can be in your ship with you? Looks like it's all come from the same ship. Again, the lighting looks great. One thing I did notice, I hope it comes up on here. As this guy gets towards you, you look on the thigh area, you will see as he hits his foot on the ground, you'll see the muscle in the thigh kind of wobble. At least I noticed that, unless I was dreaming. But let's have a look. See? You see that? Take your first steps. If I doubt this is the animation's going to look like this, because that's the animation on there is just pretty perfect. It's pretty damn good. I don't know whether we'll get animation as good as that, but who knows? Anaconda going overhead. I would probably have ducked at this point, but these two don't seem phased in the slightest. And the anaconda kicking up the dust, obviously, from its from its thrusters, I suppose. You can see the thrusters, vertical thrusters engaged on the Anaconda there. Looks amazing. I mean, there's no two ways about it. This looks incredible. Hint, it won't look this good in VR. Not graphically. Not yet, anyway. So we've got some little jetpacks here on the back, you can see. I don't know how they're going to get fueled. Multiple weapons. I think they're both carrying different weapons, so I don't know where we're going to be getting those out of. Yeah, well, obviously those engines don't cause too much heat. On an epic journey to where? Now look at this. Some nice, stunning view there of the planet in the sky there. And to be honest, in this shot, the planet surface looks kind of what we have today. It just looks nice and bright, and it has a different lighting on it because of the atmospheric lighting. But yeah, it looks pretty good. He's obviously going down there to have a game of football, maybe. So that's a new. That animation's way too good. I mean, that's not the animation we're going to get. It can't be. It can't be. It's way too well motion captured. So suddenly they're hiding from the Anaconda that just went over them. And there goes a couple of attack cobras, probably, to... I don't know what's going on. So you can imagine, when I saw this for the first time, I was like, are you kidding? This is incredible. And like most people, I think we were all wowed by this. But I didn't see too much wow reaction, on some social media places. I thought, it was more like, oh great, we're getting that. That's good, as opposed to blown away. Don't know. Maybe it takes a lot more to impress people these days. I was impressed. I thought this was amazing. It's like Frontier have said, okay, so this half wants, so you guys want space legs, you guys want atmospherics. How about we give you both? And this is what they've done. As you can see here, it's coming on all platforms in early 2021. Early to me means the first quarter. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So this is what happened on June 3rd, and it was amazing. I think on the whole, I do think Frontier got a very good response to this, and rightly so. It looks incredible. There's no two ways about it. So I was not expecting atmospheric landings. I am on record on several streams as saying that I just don't think it would have ever come. But like I said, in my mind, I had it as atmospheric landings with, I don't know, life, cities, like something you would see today in Star Citizen, perhaps. But let's face it, the funding on Star Citizen and the amount of time that's gone into that, and how far along they are, doesn't even compare to Elite Dangerous, which has been a finished product now for about 5 years. So it's a finished product, but it's an ongoing. But it was complete then, is what I mean. So that was all good. And then, June the 4th, Frontier announced no VR on launch. All that joy, all that happiness from a lot of people just turned into shit. I can't think of any other word. A lot of people went nuts about this one. And yeah, I didn't go nuts on it. I was disappointed. But it still seems that today a lot of people just look at certain words and don't read all of it. So the bit I wanted to highlight, which I couldn't, was the question there, is Elite Dangerous Odyssey coming to VR? Now, currently, Elite Dangerous is a full-on VR experience, and it's amazing. It's like Elite Dangerous and VR are made for each other. It's an amazing experience in VR. There is no question. So for Frontier to say, when we launch this amazing Odyssey, you're not going to be able to put your VR goggles on. That's like it's a kick in the face, really. But they did specify currently Elite Dangerous Odyssey will not be VR compatible at launch. They didn't stop the sentence after the word compatible. Nor, and they also included the word currently. So they've put in that one sentence, currently and at launch. Take away those words and you have Elite Dangerous Odyssey will not be VR compatible. That is a full and final statement to say, put your VR goggles down, you will not be playing Odyssey in VR. However, the currently and the at launch changes the entire context of that sentence. So at the moment, in other words, at the moment of development, Elite Dangerous Odyssey will not be VR compatible at launch. Even that phrase was not enough to stop people going nuts with petitions. If it's not technically possible to get it done correctly by early 2021, then all of your signatures on all of these petitions isn't going to change that. It's not going to, Frontier is not just going to employ a load more staff, especially in these times, to try and fulfill what you think you're entitled to. Now, are you entitled to this? Well, not really. I mean, there are people, I don't think so anyway, there are people who have complained that, oh, I bought my Elite Dangerous on a VR only category, probably on Steam, and so I expect that any updates should be VR. Well, no, not really, because the product you paid for was fully VR, and when Odyssey comes out, the product you paid for will still be fully VR. So you've got what you paid for. The description was correct. Odyssey is a paid add-on. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy it. But don't buy it and then complain that there's no VR. Right? We know that there's going to be no VR at launch. Okay? And even again, this paragraph goes on to say at the end, for launch, it means Odyssey will not be VR compatible. Again, they've stressed for launch. Now, the only thing on Frontier's shoulders here is that they have not come out and said or told us, don't worry, we are working on VR and we will bring it to Odyssey at some point in the future. I think that would quell a lot of the vitriol that I think Frontier is unfairly getting at the moment. However, they haven't done so. There may be reasons for that. It may be that technically they're going to really struggle with it. And so they don't want to commit themselves to saying, yes, we're going to do this. Because if they commit themselves to saying, yes, Odyssey will come with VR at some point, and then it doesn't, we're going to have online protests again. And Frontier are going to get a new batch of crap coming their way. Right? And it seems that the no VR at launch completely overshadows the fact that Elite Dangerous is now getting first person and third person views. You can get out of your chair, that you can land on atmospheric planets now. It seems to completely override any of that. Now, I am a VR user. Admittedly, most of my Elite Dangerous play is not done in VR. I still do it on a single monitor. I do have a triple monitor setup. So if I wanted, I have the choice to play Elite Dangerous across triple screens, which looks pretty damn good, I have to say. And I have a massive 7680 by 1440 resolution to play with that, so it looks amazingly good. Put the VR on, and yes, you have that lovely 3D and that lovely scaling experience, but you don't get that kind of resolution. So Elite Dangerous would look better. It looks better on a monitor, but it feels better in VR. Okay, it's very much more immersive in VR. So as a VR player, I am disappointed. But even thinking about it, when I'm flying the ship and I've got the VR goggles on, I'm never cease to be amazed about how amazing it looks. The scale of everything, the space stations, how big they look, how big ships look when they come through the mail slot. It's a fantastic experience. Combat is brilliant. You can look around your cockpit to see where that ship went. Mining inside the asteroid rings, it all looks amazing. There's no question. But Frontier are not going to be taking any of that away from you. Horizons will still have VR. Odyssey won't. So, okay, it means now that when you're on foot, you won't be doing it in VR. Well, fine. I don't know of any game that I play in VR where I'm on foot. The only exceptions I can think of is the new Half-Life Alyx, which was built from the ground up for VR, by the way. It was built for VR, and that's it. Nothing else. You can't play Half-Life Alyx outside of VR. So it was built for that, and it works really well. No Man's Sky does it, and I'll be honest, walking around planets in VR in No Man's Sky, to me, isn't a wow thing. It doesn't wow me. It's like, wow. Being in the ship, yes, it's nice. It's like sim racing. You're being in a car, it's great. But actually walking around, it can make people who don't get nausea or don't get discomfort flying a ship around in Elite Dangerous may get discomfort when they're walking around or running around. You imagine running, you've got your gun by your side in Odyssey, and you've got to look around, and you've got to jump down a cliff, and then you've got to boost up with your jetpack. You might get a little bit woozy. So I don't know. Maybe they can do a split where, you got your goggles on, you're in your ship, you come down, you're in your SRV, and the moment you get out and on foot, you just have to lift your goggles up or take them off your head while you do your little running around until you get back in your SRV again. Possible? Well, Frontier said in a statement, this is Tim Smith, the community manager. First thing he said was, we're still reading everything, rest assured. In other words, everything on the forums. They know that there's petitions out there. But then he says, the question actually was, will people in VR still be able to fly spaceships around beneath a blue sky? So in other words, can we still have the VR on while we're bringing our ships into atmospheric planets, but not necessarily when you're running around in first or third person? Now, I would think the answer to that would be no, because atmospheric planets is part of Odyssey. Now, whether they put VR into Odyssey at launch, so you can still do everything you can in Horizons, including landing your ship. You see, this could be a compromise that they could do. They could do everything, landing on planets, but if you want to get out as a person and walk around, then for now, you have to take off your VR goggles while you run around on the monitor. I could do that. That would be cool. So they said, Frontier answered that one. We don't have any more details at the moment on how that split would work yet. Think of that. We don't have any more details on how that split would work yet. So, are they considering a split in Odyssey where you can still remain in VR for landing on an atmospheric planet, getting out in your SRV, just like you do in Horizons, admiring the landscape, zapping rocks, going to barnacles, all that kind of stuff. But if you want to get out and walk, you'll have to take your VR goggles off. Please remove your goggles in the same way that you'd probably remove your space helmet. I don't know. That's another thing as well, removing the helmet. I hope we do get planets that are supportive of human life so you can actually remove your helmet and see your Hollow Me face a bit better. That would be cool. So the full sentence is, we don't have any more details at the moment on how that split would work yet. So again, they haven't fobbed the guy off. They haven't said, no, we're not even considering that, you know. However, we've heard the questions and the feedback. We'll be sharing more information closer to release. Okay? And then they reiterated that you'll still be able to play the base game and Horizons in VR. None of that is changing. So again, I've seen nothing anywhere where Frontier have explicitly stated that there will be no VR in Odyssey. I've not seen that. If you've seen that, please point me to it, because that's the way some people are reacting. You know, that it's a case of, right, I'm putting my joystick away. Goodbye, Elite Dangerous. Well, no, you can still play Elite the way you've always played it. It's just that if you want to walk around on atmospheric worlds, you're going to have to just bite the bullet and take your goggles off and play on a monitor. A monitor's not that bad, and I'll bet most of those people who are complaining will quite happily play Call of Duty and those kind of games without VR. They'll quite happily load up first-person shooter games and third-person shooter games without the goggles on. But yet, Elite Dangerous no can do, not possible, or you just don't want to. Which is it? You know. So I'm a bit cheesed off with all of the negativity that's going on, especially because of all the other negativity that's going on. You know, we have some big issues in the world today. Okay, the coronavirus came first, and then all of these protests from people who don't really care anymore about social distancing, or the fact that what they're doing may endanger more lives. So, yeah, that's another topic, though. But anyway, the world is going crazy right now, and it seems that the biggest thing people want to complain about is, I want my VR. Let's sign a petition. You know, how about signing a petition for Black Lives Matter? How about signing a petition to help the care workers get a pay rise when all this is over? You know, how about being a bit more active on something that really matters? This is only a game, and the fact that we're getting space legs and atmospheric landings at all is a massive treat for me. I think this is brilliant. I think Frontier have really done something amazing here. And again, as if Frontier can't reiterate it enough, I'll do it. No VR on launch. They may not do it. They may not do it. There's an outside chance that we'll never get VR for Odyssey. Who knows? But I have a feeling that Frontier are going to do their damnedest to try and make it work, despite that everybody's working from home still. No, Frontier's not in the offices yet. They're not working at full capacity in their offices. So, yeah, we're getting the fleet carriers tomorrow or whenever you guys watch this video. So Fleet Carriage is coming out in the meantime. I think there'll be maybe a couple of fixes, patches after that, but I don't see there's not going to be anything between now and 2021. But I think this is going to be something really cool. Let's just move on to the next bit. So this is another screenshot that I picked up. I think it's from Odyssey. Again, you've just got you can see there's definite light scattering here on that crater from the atmosphere. It looks really, really good. And I did think at first that maybe the textures had been updated on the planets, but it doesn't look like it from here. It looks like it just looks like this because now we have an atmosphere, and it's kind of a more familiar lighting to what we have here on our beautiful blue-green, blue-green marble. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this, and like I said, with the world being as it is, it's bad news everywhere, and I am just fed up of reading negativity. Frontier probably thought when they released this news, or actually it got leaked, but once the Frontier officially, they probably thought this is going to blow people's minds because we're giving them exactly what they want. They wanted space legs. People wanted atmospheric planets. Here's both at the same time. I'm hoping the community is going to really love this. And then as soon as they said no VR at launch, man, did Frontier get a shower of crap thrown at them. It's really unfair and it's really harsh, I think, especially as they haven't actually said you're not getting VR in Odyssey, period. They've not said that. So come on. It's like, let's try and be a bit fairer and also get a bit of a grasp on what really matters here in life. If what's going on around you now doesn't make you realize what matters and what doesn't really matter, then I don't know what will. I'll just be happy to have this update. If I can't play it in VR, okay, well, I'll survive. I'll live through it, and I'll quite happily play it on a monitor because it'll look cool. It'll look amazing. Okay, I can't play it in VR. Yes, I'll be disappointed. Of course I will. But it might be the case that if you could play it in VR and I put the helmet on and I'm running around a planet, maybe I won't like the feel of it. Maybe I won't like, oh, God, no, it's making me a bit uncomfortable. Oof, I think I'm going to play this on the monitor. So maybe it would be good if they split it up so that everything bar the actual on-foot stuff is done outside of VR. I don't know. Actually, I do hope that they do get VR in, and I hope they make it work. I've seen games that make it work quite well. So I hope they do it, and not just because it will please people, because those people who it'll please will find something else to whinge about. Not everybody, but there will be people out there who still won't be happy. That's just the way it is. That's just the history of Elite Dangerous, and you cannot please everybody, and nor should Frontier ever aim to try and please everybody, because if they do, they're doomed to failure. They're doomed to failure if they try to please everybody. So just, Frontier, if you're listening, don't try to please everybody. Do the good stuff, and you're going to get good and bad reactions from people no matter what you do. Bring out what you want, your dream. Listen to the community, which you can never accuse Frontier of not listening to the community. But you can't say that about every developer out there. That's for sure. Frontier are pretty good. In fact, they're quite top shelf when it comes to listening to the community. This update shows that. It's pure living evidence of that. Anyway, so yes, I'm sure you guys who are disappointed about the VR and don't want to play it anymore are going to still be the same. And I'm sorry that you feel that way. But It's just a shame that you will abandon a game that you may enjoy playing just because of one simple facet that doesn't go your way, at least for now. It could be that by summer 2021 we'll have a beta build of Odyssey with VR, you know, but then I don't know, you'll have sat it out. A lot of people as well say this and then they don't do. They just peed off, and so they say this stuff, and then they don't really abandon the game because they like the game. It's like me. I could say, right, that's it. I'm not playing Elite anymore. I wouldn't want to not play Odyssey. Jesus, no way. This looks amazing. This is a big game changer for Elite. And if they can build some really cool new gameplay around this, which it looks like they are doing, why the hell wouldn't I want to play it? Just because I can't put a pair of goggles on? No way. I'm not going to stop myself enjoying a game like this because I can't wear VR goggles. For now. Let's see what Frontier say. They're not going to announce definitely not having VR in Odyssey. They're not going to announce that until they know for sure. And I don't think that's going to be for a long time yet. So if that announcement ever comes in VR where Frontier is saying we're not having VR because we can't technically do it, or we can't find... You see, what they haven't even said that either. They've said that they can't bring VR for Odyssey out at launch, at least this is the way I interpret it, because they can't currently find a way to do it that doesn't compromise the vision or the quality that they want it to have. That's the way I translate what that post said. Okay, here's the sentence. So it says, right, I'm going to read the whole paragraph out again because I still think it needs drumming into some people's heads. Currently, Elite Dangerous Odyssey will not be VR compatible at launch. We're big fans of VR, and we are truly proud of the amazing experience that we currently offer in Elite Dangerous. Okay, so some of that is marketing spiel, but yeah, they know how good Elite is in VR. They're not ignorant of that fact. They know Elite Dangerous is amazing in VR, and they also know that they have a big fan base of VR players. They're not just gonna deliberately just chuck all these people under the bus. If they can help it, they're not going to do that. However, the new gameplay mechanics... Sorry, I've read that wrong. However, the new gameplay, mechanics, and features that will be introduced, okay, that's in the initial release, with Elite Dangerous Odyssey, means that we had to re-examine. Okay, so maybe they had thoughts of bringing it out in VR, but then they've had to re-examine that. If we could deliver that same experience without compromise, which for launch means Odyssey will not be VR compatible. Okay, so they want to deliver the same quality of experience you have in VR right now without any compromises, without any shortcuts. They want to do that in Odyssey. And they don't think they can get that done by the release date. And so for launch, it means Odyssey will not be VR compatible. After reading all of this, I see that there's going to be more chance that they are going to do it once they've got it working right. Not that they're not going to do it. So why don't we assume that until we know otherwise? Okay? Let's just assume, for now, be positive, let's assume that Odyssey will eventually have VR. We don't have to hype it up in our own minds or have any great expectations that this is definitely going to happen. But let's assume that the chance of having VR in Odyssey is very, very possible. Until Frontier say, no, you're not getting it. And then you can whinge and moan and have your petitions and stuff like that. The petitions right now are pointless. If Frontier don't want to compromise on the gaming experience and therefore don't want to bring VR out until it works well with Odyssey, then good for them. And I think they should stick to their guns and do that. The petitions right now, in my mind, are pointless. You may disagree. Please leave comments in the thing. You don't have to agree with me. These are just this is all my own thoughts, guys. It's all my own thoughts. This is how I'm interpreting it. So, looking at this, if I had to guess, will VR ever come to Odyssey? Looking at the words that Frontier have put out right now, I would rather bet in favor that it will than it won't, because that's the way I'm reading it. There are hints here but of course, Frontier can only do hints. They can only say at launch it won't be. They can only say right now. They cannot come out and say, yes, we will definitely be bringing VR for Odyssey, but it's going to take a few months or it might take another year. They're not going to say that because people, the community, are going to hold them to that. They're going to grab them and they're going to hold them to those words and not let go. And they'll squeeze Frontier with those words until Frontier make that happen. That's why they won't commit. They will not commit to saying anything, and neither would any other company either. Because if they don't commit and then they can't do it, which I think is unlikely, I think they will, but if they can't do it, then they haven't made any promises and let you down by promising and then saying no. It's best just to say, we're going to try. We're not going to have it on launch because we can't really give you a fantastic experience in VR. I don't think there's anyone in Frontier sitting there thinking, oh, geez, guys, we can't do it. Once we get on the ground, how the hell do we program VR? Clearly, they know how to do VR in a game. The fact that Elite Dangerous looks so good shows that they know what they're doing. So, the fact that we have people working from home and all that stuff, VR probably isn't on the top priority list. And it's going to be a lot of work to get this new update out. I don't know how long they've been working on it. But I'm sure the fact that the coronavirus came in and everybody was on lockdown and people are working remotely has kind of pushed things back a little bit, and had that not happened, hey, maybe we would have had VR on launch, in 2021. Maybe we would have done. Who knows? Who knows? I prefer to look positive on this, and if VR never comes to Odyssey, okay, I can live with that. Some people can't. That's going to be a shame, and I'm sorry. But I can handle it. I can handle it, and I'm going to like the fact that I can handle it because I'll be able to still enjoy Elite Dangerous. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you with some concept art as I shoot off here. I don't know how old this is, but it's certainly Elite related by the looks of it. So I'll go through it with you anyway. So let's look at this one. We have a bar scenario. I'm not saying these are from Odyssey. These are just something I picked up on the web, and I believe it is concept art. This may be concept art that came out way before Odyssey's stuff came around. But if we have scenarios like this where you can walk into bars and meet some rough people who will give you missions to go and like black market slave missions, illegal missions, or helping, please, my daughter's been kidnapped, go and help such and such, whatever. I don't know. But I've always imagined a scenario where you socialize at a bar, you meet other commanders, perhaps you find AI there that will give you missions that you cannot pick up on a mission board because they are dodgy. That's going to be awesome. This is going to be brilliant. So this looks cool. Let's move on to the next one. So this is another one. Again, looks just like a normal base that we've not normally used to. And we have people walking around. It looks kind of cool. These are only concept drawings, obviously. Again, I don't know if this is from concept art as Odyssey was in the embryonic stage of being the next part of Frontier, and these is the concept art from that. If anyone knows where this concept art came from or at what point, I know it's from the IGN website, an IGN website or something, but yeah. So, let's go back there. You can see in the background on the right-hand side, isn't that one of those things that you have to scan with your SRV, the little poles that go up? Yeah. Okay, next up. Now, again, we have on this shot, I think there's a picture of an adder or a viper or something on this shot. I'm looking at it on a really small window at the moment, so I can't really see it. But you've got what looks like the scene from Star Wars where you've got Moff Tarkin looking out the window. But yeah, so stuff like, I don't know what this is. This just looks like a base. I don't know whether we'll even have this. But here's another thing. If they have such buildings with this kind of interior design and you can actually go in there, this does now beg the question of another feature that may or may not be in Odyssey. I'm not expecting it, so therefore, if we don't have it, I can't be disappointed that it doesn't have it because I'm not expecting it. And that is the ability to walk around inside the ships. Now, for that to happen, Frontier are going to have to design an interior for every single ship. And is it going to be functional? Because if it's just rooms you can walk into and go, oh, look at that wall, oh, look at that ceiling, oh, look at the view out that window, oh, look, some stairs. If that's all it is, eh. So, okay. No, I want a room that maybe has an armory so I can select a weapon from it. I want an engine room that maybe I can go into an engine room and maybe repair stuff or fix things on my ship. I'd like to be able to get out of my ship on foot and go and repair panels or go and repair my power plant when I'm out in the black exploring. That stuff would be amazing. No gun, go into the armory, pick up your big welding torch and whatever, and go out and go and fix that power plant that needs fixing because you didn't bring any repair limpets, or jetpack up onto the top of your Anaconda and start fixing those bent panels, stuff like that. That would be awesome. But I'm not expecting to be able to walk around the ships. It might be an animation to come out your ship like it is in the SRV. It could still be the case that the only way you can leave a ship before you get on foot is to use an SRV. You might not be able to go from ship to shore. I mean, that shot of the Cobra with the two people coming out doesn't reinforce that theory. So therefore, it may be possible that you can just get out your ship. And I hope that is the case, because I wouldn't want to be beholden to carry an SRV just to be able to walk on a planet. So, yeah. Ship interiors, walking around, I don't know. It would be cool to have them, but I kind of only want them if most or some of the rooms are functional. They don't all have to be. One can be sleeping quarters, where you don't really sleep, but it's just a bed in there. You've got a bathroom, and you don't actually use the bathroom, obviously. But some rooms would be functional. That would be cool. But to have none of them functional and just there for graphics and for aesthetic purposes, the novelty of that would wear off pretty quickly. Because once you've toured your ship once, you've seen it, you've done it. Big deal. Now, it would be nice, let's say you have a beluga and you fit it out with all these cabins and seats, that you can take a walk back there and look at all the seats. And then when you pick up your passengers, I'm starting to dream here. When you pick up your passengers in your missions, then you can then walk back into your ship and see all your passengers sat on the seats. That would be cool. That would be cool. But I don't know how far they're going to go with this. Maybe that won't happen at launch. Maybe they'll bring that out at another later stage. Who knows? Who knows? But there's a lot of potential here. Yeah, I'd probably walk down the aisle and try and shoot one of my passengers, see what happens. Freak all the other ones out. So they go from happy to discontented or whatever it is. So yeah, here we have departure. I don't know, where you go and say hi. Maybe this is where you can go. It looks like an airport. You're checking in or checking out. You're going to go and pick up your ship. You've got a picture of an adder in the middle there. I don't know what Apex is. But again, just concept art. There's luggage there, though. Don't be expecting this in the... Guys, please, don't look at these screenshots and then when the game comes out say, where's all the luggage and where's these places? Don't expect this. Concept art is literally just that. This is things that we'd like. We have a concept of what's possible. Don't expect any of this in the game when it comes out. It would be nice, but try and keep your expectations in check, and then you'll feel a lot better. I think. All right then. So that's kind of it. So final thoughts. Yeah. My final thoughts on this is basically just a sum up of what I've said. The update was completely by surprise. I'm completely shocked by it. There was an inkling in the grapevine that Space Legs would probably be the 2021 update. I'm hoping that we'd have the ice planets with all those features that they promised us last year, with maybe the ability to either make caves or for planets to have caves and places you could hide, because there's going to be on foot combat. So to have caves and places that you can take cover, because on most planets right now in Elite Dangerous, there's nowhere to take cover. So yeah. PvP on foot is going to be amazing, because you've got player versus player, but you don't have the advantage of an engineered ship. Whether you can shoot people on the ground from the air with your multi-cannon laden cutter, I don't know, and just see these people getting smashed into smears on the ground. I don't think so. But yeah, PvP combat, is that going to be a thing? Members of a wing versus members of another wing trying to take control of a base. I don't know. There's so many questions I can ask. Will we be able to do this? Can we do that? A lot of it would just be speculation, and I don't want to speculate. I don't want to have high expectations. I only want to base my thoughts on what I've seen and what I've read. I don't want to base my expectations or any disappointments on speculation, because that's just foolish. There's no reason to do that. Just base it off what's been read. Don't read more into things than what's already been written down. So all I know is we're getting this amazing update, which looks good on the cinematics. How that translates into the real game, I don't know. We're going to find out in 2021. And that we won't have VR, at least at launch. Okay? If they knew now that they were not going to do VR, they'd have already said it, and they would have said, you're not getting VR. But it's kind of... I feel sorry for Frontier in a way, because they brought out this video, and it was amazing, and people were just... I saw a lot of good feedback. There was bad feedback still. People still had complaints. Oh, I don't want Space Legs. I'm not into Space Legs. Fine. Don't buy the DLC then. You don't have to buy it. No one's saying that, if you have a lifetime pass, this is free. So you're going to get it for free, and then you're going to complain that you didn't want Space Legs in the first place. This isn't about you. It's like, to quote something that Ricky Gervais once said, it's like walking down the street and seeing a sign that says free guitar lessons, and you're going, but I don't want to play guitar, and making that a complaint. Don't. Just, just, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. There's a lot of negativity I've been reading on the forums, uh, and stuff like that, and I'm just so cheesed off with it, guys. You know, I've got enough negative thoughts in my head, based on what's really going on in the world. Um, when it comes to Elite Dangerous, I just want to try and enjoy it. And I did say in my streams, I've said it multiple times, that if Frontier don't do something really meaningful on the 2021 update, then it might be it for me, because in terms of gameplay, a lot of it's getting stale. I need new stuff to do. I need new content. This is me personally. I need new content. I need, there's only so many exploration missions you can go on. There's only so much mining you can do. You know, Galnet's not here anymore. Power play doesn't really get played by too many people to its fullest extent. Community goals, we don't have those anymore. So what's left? It's quite stale. And when I saw Odyssey, I thought, yeah, you pulled it out the bag for me. You've kept me in. You've pulled me right back in again. And it looks like from this update, I might be able to go back to enjoying the game back to how it was, how I enjoyed it. Maybe at the beginning when I was in the early throes of playing Elite Dangerous. And I couldn't stop playing it every single day. That's not the case now. I live stream on Sundays. I may do a bit of gameplay during the week, but it's I don't do it every day anymore. Because I can hover over the icon on my desktop and think, what am I gonna do? I'll do some combat. I don't know. Maybe do a bit of trading, bit of mining, maybe. I don't know. And then I'll go and play something else. This Odyssey could have me playing again every day, because it's a game changer. And I refuse to have that taken away from me because it doesn't have VR. I won't let my mind say, well, screw this, it hasn't got VR, I'm not going to play. I refuse to do that, because I want to enjoy this game. I hope you guys can think along those same lines, because, just, I don't know. I don't always come out in favor of Frontier. You guys know me. If I say something that I don't like, if I see something I don't like or hear something I don't like about the game, I'll say it. But I think Frontier needs to be cut some major slack right now. Okay, guys. So anyway, enjoy. Enjoy the game as it is now. Enjoy your fleet carriers if you're going to get one, and I hope you guys can maybe just look forward to what's coming in 2021. Yeah, I hope you guys can. I really do. So that's my final thoughts. I hope you've enjoyed my moan and rant and ramble, or whatever you want to call it. I didn't think it was going to be an hour, but you know me, guys. I can talk. I don't have any issues in that department. So stay safe and be healthy, and be positive. Bye, guys.